The sky was a deep, foreboding shade of indigo, like a canvas of molten darkness, as the alien armada emerged from the depths of space, their sleek, metallic ships glinting in the faint light of the distant stars. The Earth, a tiny, insignificant blue dot, hung suspended in the void, its inhabitants blissfully unaware of the terror that was to come. The air was heavy with an almost palpable sense of dread, as if the very fabric of reality was about to be torn asunder. The aliens, with their advanced technology and sinister intentions, had been watching humanity for centuries, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Their ships, a seemingly endless array of twisted, nightmarish vessels, surrounded the planet, a noose of steel and fire that was slowly tightening. Panic began to spread, a creeping sense of horror that seeped into the hearts of all who witnessed the Armada's arrival. The orbital stations, once bustling hubs of activity, were now gripped by chaos and fear. Alarms blared, a cacophony of sound that pierced the darkness, as the station's inhabitants scrambled to respond to the crisis. The once stable platforms were now on the brink of collapse, their very foundations shaken by the weight of the alien threat. In the darkness of space, a lone figure floated, a fragile, insignificant speck, as the universe seemed to close in around them. The stars twinkled, a cold, uncaring canvas, as the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The world held its breath, a collective, ragged gasp, as the aliens began to move, their ships gliding effortlessly through the void. The silence was oppressive, a heavy, suffocating blanket that smothered all in its grasp. And then, the waiting was over, as the aliens made their move, a swift, ruthless strike that caught humanity off guard. The Earth's defenses, once thought to be impenetrable, were quickly breached, as the Armada's ships poured in, a relentless, merciless tide. In the face of such overwhelming odds, humanity's only hope lay in a desperate, last-ditch plan, a secret project that had been years in the making. The code name was Stormcloud, a mysterious, highly classified initiative that had been shrouded in secrecy. Its true purpose was known only to a select few, but its activation was a sign that all was lost, that the situation was beyond hopeless. As the aliens closed in, their ships a mere heartbeat away from the planet's surface, the order was given, a simple, stark command that would change the course of history. Activate Stormcloud, a desperate, final bid to stave off the inevitable. The words hung in the air, a challenge to the void, as the machinery of war sprang to life. The Earth's surface began to glow, a faint, pulsating light that seemed to emanate from the very core of the planet. Energy began to build, a massive, swirling vortex that threatened to consume all in its path. The aliens, taken aback by this sudden, unexpected development, hesitated, their advance faltering. The humans, emboldened by this brief, shining moment of hope, rallied, their spirits lifted by the prospect of resistance. But it was a fleeting, ephemeral thing, a brief, shining spark that was quickly extinguished by the crushing weight of the alien armada. The Stormcloud project, a desperate, last-ditch attempt to save humanity, was a mere drop in the ocean, a tiny, insignificant gesture in the face of such overwhelming odds. And yet, it was all that was left, a final, defiant stand against the void. The Earth's surface continued to glow, a fierce, burning light that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The aliens, their ships a mere whisper away from the planet's surface, began to move, a slow, inexorable advance that would soon crush all in its path. The humans, their hearts heavy with foreboding, steeled themselves for the coming battle, a desperate, last-ditch attempt to survive. The silence was oppressive, a heavy, suffocating blanket that smothered all in its grasp. The stars twinkled, a cold, uncaring canvas, as the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The world held its breath, a collective, ragged gasp, as the aliens began to close in, their ships a mere heartbeat away from the planet's surface. The waiting was almost over, the final, desperate moment of truth that would decide the fate of humanity. The Earth's defenses, once thought to be impenetrable, were on the brink of collapse, as the Armada's ships poured in, a relentless, merciless tide. In the face of such overwhelming odds, humanity's only hope lay in the Stormcloud project, a desperate, last-ditch attempt to stave off the inevitable. The outcome was far from certain, a dark, foreboding uncertainty that hung over all like a specter of doom. The universe was a cold, unforgiving place, a vast, uncaring expanse that was utterly indifferent to humanity's plight. And in this desolate, godless void, the earth hung suspended, a tiny, insignificant speck, as the alien armada closed in for the kill,